9 confirming Minneapolis police have made a second arrest in a New Year's Eve murder that shocked the community.
A woman now behind bars in connection with the killing of local real estate agent Monique Bao. Paul Bloom joining us now with new details from the Hennepin County Government Center tonight. Paul?
And Randy, I want to start out by telling you Minneapolis police are not publicly acknowledging this arrest, though Fox 9 sources have confirmed that a 28-year-old woman from Fridley was taken into custody earlier this week and is in the Hennepin County Jail on suspicion of being connected to Monique Bao's murder. This comes as detectives with the Minneapolis Police Department continue to follow up on all leads. The New Year's Eve day murder of Monique Bao shocked the community. Court documents detailing the local real estate agent set up and kidnapped in the back of a U-Haul truck from a supposed house showing in Maple Grove, then driven to Minneapolis, where she was shot 3 times and left for dead in this alley. On Thursday, we returned to the now weathered memorial in the alley with peace activist K.G. Wilson, a Bao family friend, soon after receiving word of an additional arrest in the brutal slaying.
It was terrible. Nobody wants an individual out in the community that could do something like that.
Prosecutors had previously charged Cedric Berry with second-degree murder and kidnapping. Court documents detailing his role in essence exchanging drugs to rent the U-Haul believed used the day of the violent crime spree that also included the shooting of Bao's boyfriend. Berry said to be a rival dealer to that man. Now, sources confirming to Fox 9 a 28-year-old woman is behind bars as well in connection to the murder. Monique's family, including her uncle Michael Williams, a Metro area police officer, has insisted from day one they believe several people had to be involved in the deadly plot.
And I still believe that there should be or might be more arrests to come. But I am very excited about the justice that we're getting so far at this point, or the work that the Minneapolis Police Department has been doing.
And Fox 9 at this point not naming, not identifying this woman in custody. She has not been formally charged. And late word here at the courthouse this evening, the Bao family telling me there's actually been a third arrest confirmed by jail records, though again, nothing that MPD will officially acknowledge at this point as this investigation remains active and hot. Reporting from the Government Center, Paul Bloom, Fox 9.
All right.
Hello, everybody. You are live with King Sigma on this January 18th mid-morning. And I would just like to, shout out everyone that's in the chat that's joining me at this early time. I just couldn't help but to, have a little conversation about some things that I had seen in the news recently that kind of brings home my whole point about this idea that the minority of Black men are somehow going to rebuild Americanda and create this vision that a lot of people saw in the Black Panther movie is pretty much like a myth, but even more so, it's a deception that even those that do a lot of the most rhetoric around this idea that each one of us is owned by an imaginary community, they're not going to do the work, they're not going to do the protection, and they're for sure not going to do any building in terms of creating revenue producing assets, buying up property, buying up land and things like that. So I'm calling this entry Black Misandry Twitter case study number 2. And we're going to get to that because I had done one a couple months back. I did the first entry. And basically, what I want to do with the Twitter case studies, it's what I call the Twitter social media zaddy threads. And what this is it's a chance to allow the white male worshiper to speak her truth. Because I noticed that a lot of guys, they want to sit around, pontificating, blowing steam, gorilla chest beating about this and about that. But I think it's more powerful, instead of being like a ventriloquist, for the white male worshiper to let her speak her own truth. So what I love about those kind of threads, the zaddy threads, is that you get hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands. The first Twitter case study that I did, there were thousands, just of, Black women all across the planet, not just in America, not Canada, not just the UK, but Africa and other places as well, showing like their allegiance to their white zaddy. So that's kind of what I want to do when I go through these Twitter studies. I think that we can sit around as men arguing all day about why she did this or why she didn't do that, why she's putting the Pookie before you, or why she's putting bottom shelf Brad and Waldo before you. But nothing's better than actually giving them the microphone, allowing them to speak for themselves. So that's what we're going to do today. But I was reading my Twitter timeline, and I saw something about this individual that used to be like a grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan for a long time. And I thought that it'd be a good way to start off the Twitter conversation because, Twitter is really become like the new news source because you don't have to sit up there getting this filtered information. You're just getting it straight from when a situation happens. You can get like 5, 10, 100 different opinions within an hour or so. So, the whole thing with the clip about Monica Bao being murdered in Minneapolis stood out to me because it relates to what the so-called community values, what the current culture is, and what it's really been for like 3 generations now. And then you have like this whole conversation in this sector of Black YouTube about, should free moving Black men be allowed to move around? Should they not be allowed to move around? Should they move in silence? Should they move with a bullhorn? This, that, and this, that. But all the while all these like sidetrack conversations are going on, you just got more and more heinous crimes happening within the so-called community. And if you go to my community tab, you can find the full story because I'm not going to read the story about Monica Bao. I think the news clip gave you like enough of a summary. But, it's one thing to listen to a news clip, but it's better for you all to go read the story yourself because that was a heinous crime. You saw in that crime that she's a 28-year-old, American Black woman with 2 children, and she was dating like a dope dealing rapper, typical Pookie kind of guy. But what stood out about the story about Monica Bao is that she comes from kind of a middle-class family. You saw it. One of her uncles is a police officer among one of the most racially discriminatory police departments in America. So that's telling, because we all know about like the situations with Muhammad Noor, with the several black men that were killed by the MPD or the St. Paul PD or different Minneapolis, St. Paul law enforcement officers, that there were warnings being put out by certain organizations for black people not to move to the state of Minnesota. So that's how bad it was getting. So the fact that she has an uncle that's a police officer shows that she comes from a stable environment. So she's not one of these, single mothers that just grew up in the hood and she didn't have any good role models, male and female. She had male role models, but she still chose to get into a relationship with a D-boy. And the thing about Monica Bow, she was actually a real estate agent. So, she wasn't like one of these typical hood ratchet type of broads, but now her funeral, I believe, is today. So it didn't matter that she wasn't a hood rat. It didn't matter that she was born to a single mother or any of that. What mattered is that she embraced the culture of dysfunction, destruction, and death. That's the fact. So as you saw in the news clip, the suspect in the shooting killed her, but was trying to kill her boyfriend as well, because they were supposedly, according to the story from the news, and again, these things are all allegations until proven. So he actually, the guy that's the suspect, he said he's not guilty. So I have to follow this case in a couple months to see what the outcome is. But the law enforcement is saying that the guy that you saw on the screen, and then there was also another woman that they caught as well. So it was a female and a black male who shot and killed Monique Bow, and then tried to kill the boyfriend. And they're saying that it was some kind of drug beef and that they were drug rivals or gang rivals or whatever it may be. But my point is that, there's this idea like, well, if a woman comes from this environment or that environment, no, it's the culture. It's the kind of culture that you embrace. Are you going to embrace a constructive, progressive kind of culture where you compete, or are you going to embrace like a black redneck culture that has had not very many benefits at all for the majority of black Americans? It's had a few benefits for those that are in the rap game or in the entertainment game. A couple of them have made money off of that, promoting certain negative black redneck cultural stereotypes. But for the rank and file black person, it's been a complete dud, and it's a complete bankrupt culture. And it needs to be replaced as of yesterday, not tomorrow. You got to start today. And that's why I've been challenging the brothers that come to my space, man, pick up a new skill this year. I'm not big into like talking about what I do, but I'm working on a certain kind of skill that can bring in an additional revenue outside of having a regular 9-to-5 job. And I'll be working on that for the next 12 months. And once I become more proficient in it, I'll definitely share that with you guys, but I'm not going to share it now. But I would just say to everyone, man, just find some kind of new skill to pick up this year, man. Because that's where we're at now. We're at the getting this shit done stage. And what are you going to contribute to a new culture? Just that simple. So that's the Monique Bow story. You guys can go to my community tab and read that story, but it's sad, man. But she made her choice, And I asked the question on my tab. I said, where is the Superman, black woman first, Pookie Superman when you need it? They're never around. The genocide warrior class is never around unless they're actually doing the killing. Where's all this protection that they're always talking about? Where's all this building that they're talking about? That's all just internet game, man. Monique Bow was dead. And she wasn't one of these sisters from like the poorest kind of families. She's what they would call your independent, educated black woman. But now she's dead at 28 years old, leaving behind 2 children. And because the boyfriend, I don't know if he was just a boyfriend or if he was the father of both of the children or one of the children, but he might be going to jail too because he was part of the situation. So even though he's not dead as of this morning, he may end up being taken away from the home as well and put in jail because he's connected to the situation. So we'll see what that outcome is. But basically, you have 2 young children that may be forced to be raised by like a grandmother or an uncle or aunt or someone like that because of the decisions that the father or cleanup man and the mother decided to make for the family. So they chose that life. And I'm all about holding people accountable. If you choose the underground culture game, there's a lot that comes with that. You make a lot of enemies that don't want to see you get too much higher than them. And when it comes that time, they will kill. And they don't care if they kill the child, the mother, the actual person that they're aiming for. They will kill everyone in the house. And that's what happened. So Monique Bow will be selling no more homes. She'll be buying no more homes. She will never see her children grow up. So I say it's time to replace the culture completely. But hey, that's my own personal, belief. You guys can keep believing what you want to believe. So we'll go ahead and get to the article that the next one that came across my timeline that I just couldn't help but shake my head at this one, because it really points to this whole white male worship, conversation that I've been adding to with the Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad series and the Twitter case studies, because it's nothing like listening to these people themselves. What amazes me is that you have all of these black folks that are always talking about how they're going to replace white supremacy and this and that, and they're so hated by white folks or whatever. But the same people, they really don't say the truth, is that they love and they feel, or either they love or they feel inferior by the same group of people that they claim that they're trying to replace or that they're fighting the battle against. And this story that comes to us from this is a guy who was a part of the Ku Klux Klan here in America for like 30 years. He was actually a Grand Wizard. And I'm going to share that story with you all because, again, you find often with these white male worshipers that they're in relationship with Ku Klux Klan members, neo-Nazis, murderers, and we just call that group of whites around here bottom shelf Brad. But that bottom quarter of that white dating pool is pretty much where they make their choices from. So let me try to bring up that article to show you all. So let's see, bring that article up. So this article comes to us from the Daily Mail, and let's see. One of the reasons I hate the Daily Mail is because whatever service they use, man, it really loads. So it has a lot of problems loading. I hate the Daily Mail. So it says that exclusive. I don't hate blacks. Ain't that something? KKK Imperial Wizard found 30 years after he fled the U.S. insists he isn't a racist, just segregationist, and denies being an FBI snitch. So this guy, he actually ended up fleeing the United States. And it says, Bill Wilkinson was Imperial Grand Wizard of the Invisible Empire Knights of the Ku Klux Klan until he vanished without a trace in 1984. So, there's allegations that he took some kind of deal. He snitched out his camp comrades to the FBI for whatever reason. And then he went into like that witness protection type of program. That's what the media is claiming. So it says that Daily Mail Online discovered Wilkinson and yesterday revealed how he is now the owner of a holiday resort in Belize. And now that was what was interesting to me. So he's down there surrounded by all these black folks down there in Belize, dating black women, having relations with black women, in pictures with black men, hugged up, So he has this resort, and he spent all of his life, trying to undermine black Native Americans here in the States. But here he is, free down there in Belize. So it says, after being discovered, Wilkinson invited Daily Mail Online to accompany him on a walk around San Pedro, the town where the resort is located. In the majority black town, he hugged locals and laughed and joked with them and said, blacks, Rastafarians, Hispanics, you should see me with them. You hear that? This is what be killing me about like Waldo. Waldo knows you all so well. Just like with that situation with Joe Morrissey, the white convicted pedophile that was elected by black people to the Virginia legislature. And remember how he was saying he knew he was going to win even before because he said that the black women were going to vote for him. Now here's a guy who spent his whole prime years of his life in the Ku Klux Klan, and they're saying that he ended up selling out his comrades for a check and had to flee the country. But here he is saying, again, blacks, Rastafarians, Hispanics, you should see me with them. I mean, this is amazing. So he knows how much these people worship him. And then he says, but as for his true views, he said, I have not changed. I wouldn't let one marry my children or my grandchildren. So here's the guy who's dyed in the wool with his white supremacist views. And he said, hey, you can't marry one of my children or my grandchildren, or I'm going to disown them. But yet he's claiming, you know, he has no problem sleeping with these people, making money off of them, even living amongst them, because he feels like he's a god walking amongst mortals. And he also said he still believes in segregation, claiming he was following God's commands that the races should live separate lives. So that's his belief, is that you know, that we should be separate by God's command. But yet here he is, a white American man down there in a black town with his resort right in the middle of black people. So this is the kind of like double standard that they have. So it says a former imperial wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, who now lives in Belize alongside the very race of people he fought to segregate, has told Daily Mail Online, I don't hate blacks. Ain't that something? Breaking his 30-year silence, Bill Wilkinson, once the most powerful white supremacist in the world, hit back at claims he is a racist. Speaking from the sun-drenched hotel resort he owns and where Daily Mail Online tracked him down, Wilkinson said, don't call me racist. I don't hate blacks. I never have hated blacks. I still don't hate blacks. I don't hate anyone. So let's see. Scroll down. So he says, but in a baffling contradiction, Wilkinson added that he had not changed since his Ku Klux Klan days. He said, I'm just a Bible crashing segregationist. I still believe in segregation. That's how it should be. Now, that's powerful, what he just said, because I want you guys to see this picture. I want you to look at this picture and think about all the things that he said so far. So right here he says, I'm just a Bible crashing segregationist. I still believe in segregation. That's how it should be. But yet, here's this man that's 80 years old or whatever it is. But look at who he got. Look at he found himself a mammy though now, didn't he? He could, you know, a lot of these mammies, because of that high testosterone, she could probably pick him up with one hand, put him on her shoulders and walk around how you do with your child. That's, I mean, I just can't even, I just can't, man. Just stare at that picture for a minute. So this guy was the 30 years Ku Klux Klan imperial wizard, okay? Now he's down there amongst the Belize people walking around like he's a messiah. And here you have one of their mammies picking him up, even though he's saying he's all pro-segregation. But you know what I've noticed with Waldo? Waldo is pro-pussy though. See, pussy don't got no face. He actually lives by that standard. Pussy don't have no color. That's what I've kind of learned about Waldo. They don't mind banging out and ghetto gagging the white male worshipers. They don't mind that. As long as they get to send her back to you, they're okay. But I just can't. Wow. Look at his mammy, man. Who needs a bike when you got a mammy? So a lot of these dudes, they really treat these people like slaves, man. Even though it's 2020, there ain't nothing changed. And let's see how the Daily Mail describes it. So they say, smiling segregationist Bill Wilkinson took Daily Mail Online on a tour of San Pedro, Belize, where he lives, to show that even if he does not want white and black living side by side, he is not a racist. And look at that whore's feet, man. Damn. He don't even got her carrying him with shoes on. He said, take them damn sandals off. You're going to carry me with your feet, you monkey. So that's how he's rolling. He says he's not a racist and was greeted by market trader Bernice like an old friend. So this woman that you guys see in the picture, that's Bernice. The woman that's carrying him around, that's his good friend, quote unquote, he says, and her name is Bernice. And when her Waldo shows up, she don't just do a bow or she don't just do a wave. She gonna pick that man up. And look at that smile. How many of you have seen a white male worshiper smile like that for you? And when these dudes are done ghetto gagging them and destroying them mentally, he will send her back to you and say, now this is your queen of the damned. Marry this bitch. Now here goes some old footage that the Daily Mail came up with of Wilkinson from his days as the Imperial Wizard of Ku Klux Klan down in Louisiana. So for you brothers that are actually down there in Louisiana, this is the he was like one of the top KKK members down there. So it says reality. Bill Wilkinson in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in 1977, when he led what the FBI warned was the most dangerous and most violent version of the Ku Klux Klan. Unlike other KKK leaders, he was happy to show his face. Now, you guys hear that? The FBI said that he led one of the most dangerous and violent versions of the Ku Klux Klan back in the 70s and 80s. So who knows what level of heinous crime that he's done, but he had to flee the country because of the kind of violence that he had inflicted on black people down there in Louisiana. But yet here he is in Belize being completely embraced by the black-skinned people down there. See what I'm saying? And then you guys wonder why I tell you that I don't engage with the MAGA and the Black Woman First drones in this conversation, because there's nothing to argue about with them anymore. We know that Bernice that you just saw in that picture, they will accept her. Doesn't matter how much she got slutted out by the Ku Klux Klan in the little, Bukkake KKK gangbangs. They don't care about that shit, man. And you're only as strong as your weakest link. And that's why I'm encouraging brothers to get their stuff together and focus on their own self-actualization moving forward this decade. Let the drones fight these, these proxy wars. It's not for you. So here's Bill Wilkinson. In the background, he has the actual founder of the Ku Klux Klan, Nathan Bedford Forrest, who fought. He was one of the Confederate leaders during the Civil War. And you see, but he was actually the one that started the Ku Klux Klan back in Pulaski, Tennessee. And what they would do is that with the freed blacks, they would harass them, kill them, lynch them, and do different violent crimes because they didn't want them to vote and things like that. And that's kind of what, led to like Jim Crow later. But yeah, you see, and right in the background, he got that picture of Nathan Bedford Forrest, the original Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And this is Bill Wilkinson, the same dude that's down there in Belize now, with the resort being carried around by mammies. He's proud, and like they say, he was one of the few that didn't care, That's how much of a superior that he thought he was. So shameless, Bill Wilkinson posed in the robes he wore to show his leadership of the outlawed group. Such was his ambition to cause racial unrest that he traveled illegally to the United Kingdom to foment hatred there. So this dude was international with his white supremacy and his racism. He wasn't just restricting himself to Louisiana. He was actually trying to go over to London and Scotland and Ireland and try to get them to raise up against the blacks that they had over there. Because, London has a lot of black immigrants from throughout the diaspora. So he went over there and they kicked his ass out. So he says, God had commanded me not to mix with other races. I have not changed. I'm the same man. I always have been. I wouldn't let one black person marry my children or my grandchildren. Wilkinson owns a multi-million-dollar holiday resort in San Pedro on the island of Ambergris Caye, living alongside the island's majority black population, the same race of people he fought to segregate in the 1970s and 80s. Yesterday, Daily Mail Online revealed that he had been discovered in the wake of the disclosure. He took Daily Mail Online on a tour of his hometown of San Pedro to show how I am with the blacks. The 72-year-old at that time, who served as Imperial Wizard of the Invisible Empire of the Knights of the KKK from 1975 to 1984, reveals he is now happy living among the island's mostly black, Mayan, and Hispanic population. Wilkinson said, "Life is real good. I love the island. It's full of very friendly people. I enjoy scuba diving. That's what I came here for, snorkeling, fishing. People here know about my past, but they don't care. They accept me for who I am." Astonishingly, Wilkinson, who runs the Seven Seas Resort in the popular tourist destination, said he doesn't believe he is mixing with other races by living in Belize. He said, I would get asked similar questions during the 70s, 80s. So I'm gonna leave that there because I think that's a good introduction to the article to read. But I want to just kind of show you some of the pictures that they uploaded of him. So this dude, he's good. Look at it. He's doing like little he's doing fist pound, giving dap to the locals. And they all know that he, possibly killed black people, robbed people, had blacks beaten here in America. They don't care. They have no pride. If you flipped it and there was a black dude that had led like a violent and extreme group and that was known for having done violence to like white people, I guarantee he wouldn't be living somewhere like in Norway doing fist pounds with the white Norwegians or the whites over there. See, so that tells me that the post-traumatic inferior syndrome that a lot of blacks have throughout the diaspora is something that can only be fixed by extreme measures. Some of these people are just too gone, man. So he admits, he says, hey, man, I walk around without my shoes on, with my crusty white feet. I get daps to the locals. I'm banging these mammies. And they all know I was in the KKK. Who cares? They don't care. Because, again, that genetic immunity exemption pass is serious business amongst the white male worshipers and those that feel themselves to be inferior to a race that's dying and a race of people that's being surpassed by other races now. But yet, for some reason, many blacks, they still have that inferiority complex. So you see, I mean, he's giggling. They good. And this is one of these Belizean black men down there. He knows he's in the Klan. He don't care. Bill Wilkinson took Daily Mail online on a tour of the town to show how he gets on with people of all races. He greeted disabled local artist Kurt Cruz with a fist bump. So there he is. Now, so the Cruz guy said he knew Wilkinson's views and said it takes a mentally insane person to think like that. Friendly Bill Wilkinson with a Lebanese shop owner who he nicknames the Turk. When y'all going back to where you came from. So he actually goes around talking racist stuff even down there. So he says to the Lebanese guy, when y'all going back to where you came from? Wilkinson joked to the man who called him king of the rednecks. So White, I told you, boy, that genetic immunity pass is like no other VIP pass in the world. American Express Black Card. There ain't no VIP like that white skin, man. That is a VIP pass, man. He's giving dap with some more to locals. Happy neighbor. As he walked through San Pedro shoeless, Bill Wilkinson says some of them black people shout from across the street and make the shape of a Klan hood on their head, but they do it with a smile. I don't know. Hey, I need the black woman first drones. You have to explain this one to me, man. The former imperial wizard of Louisiana gets more love amongst black people than you guys do. Gets more black ass than you do too. So explain that to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that out. You guys got a chance to see that with the cat down there. Amongst all these black people after spending his life as the head of the Ku Klux Klan. So let me see. So bring up some of you guys' comments, and then we'll get to the Twitter feed. So let's see. Let me go back up. Atticus now. Belize is off my to-do list then, man. I'm telling you, man, the mentality of many black-skinned people across the planet, man. I don't know what to say. That's why I say just start doing you, man. Start working your way up Maslow's hierarchy, wherever you are. Wherever you are. Some of us is at the bottom. Some of us in the middle of the pyramid. Some is damn near at the top. Wherever you are, just make yourself the focus going forward, man. And then hopefully, while you're doing what you got to do, other people will be attracted to that, and then we can rebuild this. Otherwise, it just ain't going to happen, man. These people are too gone, man. So Evan Duncan says, Louisiana and Mississippi produce a different breed of Klan member. Yeah, the black belt, man. That black belt is no joke. My family was originally from Mississippi. That's where most of them came from when they migrated north, was from Mississippi. So Omega Drez Gaming Channel says, oh, they ran a gauntlet KKK on old Bernice. Hey, I mean, she was playing the horse and buggy role to old Ku Klux Klan members. So, hey, there you go. You know that slave play is real big now in 2020, man. They got like plays on Broadway. The dude that did that slave play, he's actually just got like a TV deal to do like some kind of slave play sitcom on TV. It's disgusting, man. And that's why they don't want us having these conversations. They don't want us breaking down these truths and giving our commentary. They want us to sit back and accept this culture that they control. But no, you make culture every day in what you do and the kind of behaviors that you manifest and the kind of behaviors that become your normal habits. That's where you get your culture from. So what I'm saying is that part of this new culture is going to be rejecting Black misandry and this slave narrative continuing to this decade. We rejecting all of that crap. So Pitmaster C says, chilling out on this cold day in the DMV. The brother with the Japanese symbols, he says, I told these passport guys that the Black woman is same all over. I mean, that's definitely debatable. But, you know, I can't speak for what's all over because I haven't experienced them all over the diaspora yet. I have to go travel to those places first before I can make a true assessment. Atticus now says white lane. Yeah, exactly. See, that whole idea about the white lane and the bottom shelf Brad, what we learned through this process is that, you know, when you hear like white dudes talking about that they're MGTOW or whatever, that lets you know that they're not interested in non-white women, that they only want a Becky. And if they can't get them a nice Becky, they're willing to go their own way because, I mean, the truth is that bottom shelf Brad, Waldo, they are actually select amongst non-white women. Real shit. They just really don't want to fuck with them like that because they look at it as like if they was to really get involved in anything beyond like some ghetto gagging and was to start mating with these women, then it will lead to their own racist decline, which is already declining because of low birth rates. So they think strategically and they're on code about that. The brother Sigma Jones says, he only left the country because he was an FBI informant. As long as you ain't a Black man, you're safe in the community. Real shit, man. You are really safe. If you're a white person and you're amongst Blacks, you're safe. You're probably safer amongst Blacks than you are whites. Many of those Blacks will lay their life for you, man. Solid Renegade says, Daughters of the Trade. Yes, sir. Once I actually open that book up and read it, The Daughters of the Trade, because right now I'm reading a lot like a technical books right now, but when I get some time, man, one of the books that I'm definitely going to read is Daughter to Trade. And I'm going to come back here and do a review on that book. So that day has not arrived yet. But when I do finally open that book up, I think it's going to add something to my polishing up my talking points in regards to these Twitter case studies and the Bottom Shelf Brad series. So I can't wait to open that book eventually, but it won't be for a few months. So let's see. It says, BG says, Belize is an English-speaking country, red flag. Omega Dreads Gaming Channel, it's a ritual. Roger Spice, hoping so many contracts come in and that you can send others out and make money from home. Well, good luck on that, man. That's where your mind needs to be. Get that money, man. I keep telling people that the Black woman and the clan are teammates, Evan Duncan. Yeah, you know, it's funny. One of the brothers, his name's John. He had created this this GIF for me with the face of a Ku Klux Klan member and a American Black woman on the body of Dwayne Wade and LeBron James in that famous alley-oop that he gave her back in the day when he was playing for Miami. So you can go to my community tab and check out that that GIF that the brother John created. And that's what he was referring to. Like, I've been arguing that the more and more I read about it, and again, I haven't read Daughters of the Trade yet because I have too many things to read right now, but I can't wait till I get to that book, man, because I do have the belief that mostly like slavery and Jim Crow, the way that they got it done was through that Black female, that she played a way bigger role in keeping slavery going and keeping Jim Crow going than we know. So again, I got to hold off on that one, but you can see that GIF in my community tab. It's pretty funny because I do think that they might be the greatest teammates in world history. So let me see. Infantry Skills says, Black women are society's concubines. Why do you think these broads are over-sexualized in the media? Society wants the BW to play a certain role, and that is to be society's concubine. Hard to argue with it, man. Roger Spice says, you are right. If a female wishes she were a man and hates you for it, she can never love you, but has something in common with Cave Boy Brad. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave the comments there, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to this Twitter feed to share with you all. So let's get to this Twitter feed, because that's what we're all here for. It's very interesting. So let's get to this Twitter feed. All right, so today, case 2 of the Twitter Zaddy thread. We start off with a young American black woman. Now, you know they always got to have a filter. I don't know if you guys saw that case, but there was a case where, you know, these different white dudes are talking about how these black chicks are showing up to dates not looking like their pictures, because I guess a common thing amongst the white male worshipers that they do like a little catfish thing. That's like a regular thing with them. So what they'll do, as you guys see in this picture, the young lady in this picture, she has the filter with the bunny ears and all that. And so what's happening is that when they go after these Waldos and these bottom shelf Brads, they create these pictures that are like 5 skin tones lighter. And a lot of times they'll show up to the date with bottom shelf Brad, and then he will find out, well, this girl is not a biracial like she looked like in the picture. She's 40 pounds overweight, and these dudes be just leaving them with the bill like I'm out. So that's something that's common. So here we are, this chick, Kiana OVO, that's the name of the woman that started this Zaddy thread. So it starts off, which black woman came into your life? So there's this thing, I guess, where it's really interesting, man. It's really interesting. So these white male worshiping chicks are actually, they get with the Brad or the Waldo, and they want him to look like a black man that's white. So they're starting to tell these dudes to get like a fade and to wear waves and to wear the kind of clothes that black dudes typically like to wear, whatever. So they're doing like these build a Brad kind of projects where they take the white dude wherever he's at. And, you know, again, a lot of these women are willing to pay for these dudes and trick off, buy his clothes, tell him what kind of hairstyle to wear, buy his food, buy his meth or whatever. So in this thread, you're gonna read a lot of this stuff where these black women are saying like, oh, he got with a black girl, now he got swag. So they want a white pookie too. So what I'm noticing is that now they're skipping over the black redneck male for the most part now. He's like their backup plan now, right? So now what they're doing, they're trying to turn these like bottom shelf Brads into a white pookie, a Machine Gun Kelly type motherfucker, right? That's what they want. And they're going through the process of paying to give them these kind of makeovers. I'm telling you, man, again, genetic diplomatic immunity is something else. If you're white, you can get you a slave. As we've seen in some of these other videos I've posted, that you could be disabled, you could be a Klan member, you could be a former Klan member, you could be 80 years old and get man, they really are worshipped by the cult of bottom shelf Brad. So reading through her comments, let's go through this thread. Which black woman came into your life? Now, she's asking that question because the white dudes in this video has a fade, as you can see. So he has a hair fade, a typical style of black American men. So that's why she's asking the question, which black woman came into your life? Now, let's go through some of the comments. Because this one, hey, the black woman first drones, you guys going to have to let me know how this happened. How is it that your black queen of the damned, she worships the ground that Waldo walks on, but she will say loud and proud, just like Lonnie Love did, that you guys ain't worth a dime. She would rather take her millions and go pay for a bottom shelf Brad than to be with you. But yet, you guys don't have nothing to say about that, though. So Kiana says, I need me one like that. So many DMs are open. So my DMs are open. Listen to this, man. She said, I need me one of those white pookies. So my DMs are open. I've never seen another group of women throw themselves at the feet of the same people that they call their enemy every day and tell you to go out there and fight that race war for them. Throwing herself at the feet of Waldo. She goes on to say, no Joes, please. So she don't want a regular white dude no more. They want them a white pookie now. So to you black redneck brothers that's out there doing the Madden King thing, you better stay on your game, bro. You better tighten your shit up this decade, because those last remaining Section 8 vouchers are going to be going to white pookies over the next decade. Those Madden controllers will be in the hand of the white pookie Madden king. So you was smoking weed on the couch? Nah, she gonna be doing meth on the couch. Kind of like what we saw in that blackface robbery in one of the surviving Bottom Shelf Brad series, where the broad was robbing a bank with her zaddy. We're moving into that phase now. So I know a lot of these guys are getting nervous because their Madden King careers are about to come to end. She just said it. I don't want a regular Joe white boy no more. She says she wants her a white pookie that has mimicked and blackfished you. So they're doing like a facsimile of the black American redneck thug, and they're doing it in whiteface now. She's saying this in her own words. No regular Joes, please. So now she goes on. So here goes other women are joining the thread. That's exactly what I was thinking, laughing my ass off. So she's co-signing that she wants a white pookie. Because now here's the Kiana says, because that fade AAA blackfishing or a reach. So they talk about cultural appropriation all the time, right? They always talking about cultural appropriation, featureism, colorism. They don't give a shit about that stuff, man. They approve it as long as it's their white pookie doing it. So here's a picture. Here's another. Someone else added this one. So again, here he is with his mammy. Got him faded up. Now listen to the way these black women describe this shit, man. The flavor. She's saying that being with this mammy now, I'm giving him that black thug flavor now. So this is what they want for the white pookie. This is the comments coming from different black women throughout the quote unquote community. So she says, what did you type for this? I think flavor. So this person says, Negro got the hard brush. So apparently they calling the pookie a Negro now. Got the hard brush, gold chain combo and everything. So this is the pookie. The white pookie had this stuff in the background. He got like a little wave brush. He got the Murray's wave grease, all paid for by his mammy. All paid for. You don't got to pay for shit. And I know that it's going to be like some black woman first drones that's sitting there. They're going to be feeling kind of tight right now because they know that the window of opportunity has closed for y'all. Your black queen, she has opened up the lane for white pookie now. And with the meth culture exploding like it is in America, there is no shortage of white pookies now. So they just teach them how to speak a little bit of urban slang, throw in a couple rap albums, give them about 60 days, and she gonna get out there and do the workhorse. She's a workhorse for him, but she won't kick shit for you. But she's a workhorse. She is a workhorse for him. So I guess what these black women are saying is that they would rather have a white pookie at home doing the Madden King with that biracial child than to have you with your black melanin self at home doing the Madden King thing now. That's what they're saying themselves. Again, I allow these women to speak their truth in the Twitter Misandry threads because I don't want to speak for these ladies. I'm not going to go back and forth with you maggots. I'm going to let the women tell you how they're feeling and what's really on their mind when free to talk openly without fear of reprisal. So she's sitting up there while you on the couch right now. Yeah, somewhere in America, there is a black Madden King. He woke up this morning high, drunk, fighting with her all night. And while you was asleep, she spent the whole night reading slave cosplay. She spent the whole night tweeting in threads like this, like my DMs is open. She just waiting to find a white pookie. And that's when you go get that eviction notice, homie. You'll get that eviction notice. And you might even have black children with her. Because I've had cases where a black woman with black children got with a Waldo while she had black children, as in the case of Dominique Clayton, who was murdered by that white cop that she was dating. And Minnie said that she was pregnant by. And he said, nah, we ain't doing this biracial seed thing. We can do the ghetto gag. So you're only like a DM away from being replaced, brother. So you could be mad at the free moving men. You could be mad at the free thinking black man, or you could start figuring out what your backup plan is going to be. Because if you wait too much longer, you will be replaced by a white pookie this decade. Because they don't want a regular white Joe guy no more, they said. They're looking for a white pookie. He go, another chick, she said, laughing my ass off. He all the way involved now. I mean, listen to this shit. This is your community. They found your replacement, Pookie. This is your replacement. Here go another broad. I love this. They love white Pookie. They love Bottom Shelf Brad. They love DJ Kid. Fuck is y'all talking about out here, man? This is their own words. For real. Because somebody showed through some layers or Lowry's on that. So he go a black woman saying, for real, you know how these bitches can't, they the most educated amongst the demographic in comparison to their black male counterpart, but yet they can't spell for shit. They can't speak for, I mean, can't even read what they be putting in there sometimes. You gotta interpret this shit. For real, cuz somebody showed through some Lowry's on net. Laughing my ass off. It's confirmed. Wow. Okay. Black queens saving lives as per usual. Look at that mammy, man. She's a queen to you, but a mammy to him. She's a queen to you, but a mammy to him. That's for the black woman first drones out there. You're triggered. You're triggered by your black queen doing this to you, aren't you? You're not mad at me. You're not mad at the other brothers that are putting this shit out here for you to consume. You're mad at yourself because you put yourself in a trap. You invested all that energy in her just so that she can move on to betray you in one of the most important decades ever facing the rank and file Native Black American. That's what you're mad about. You're mad about the reality. So black queens saving lives as per usual. Well, they didn't save Monica Bowles' life now, did they? They didn't save Dominique Clayton's life now, did they? They didn't save the 700 plus women and the thought concubines of DJ Kid now, did they? Nah, but they say they saving lives. Look at that face. Look at that face. She in heaven. I got my white Pookie. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. I never even knew I could stunt like this until I met my black mammy. That's the guy in the picture saying that he didn't know that he could stunt like that until he met his mammy. See, they're using the lingo and everything now. Another black male worshiper comes in. Y'all are so cute. Thank you so much, Zaddy says. All right, here go another. Now here, this is interesting. So this American black woman says, I don't know, but I hope she left so I can come in next. Woo! And notice her name is Ori Singleton JD. So I'm assuming that the JD means Juris Doctorate. But you know these hoes lie about their careers all the time. But according to her, here you go. This is one of the black lawyers who is a black lawyer because of all that hard work you black men in the boomer generation, the Gen X, all that work that y'all parents put in during the civil rights movement so that you can get things like affirmative action and civil rights. She's taking her benefits and she's saying that she don't mind being the side piece for Waldo. Matter of fact, she telling the dude, hey, if you dump her, I'm waiting in line for you. Read her own words again. Ori Singleton JD. I don't know, but I hope she left so I can come in next. Boom. While you out there chasing the hoe, he ain't got to chase the hoe. All he got to do is put a picture up with a mammy and all the mammies is in his DM. What exactly are you Negroes trying to save exactly? How can you save someone from themselves? Niggas don't make no sense to me, man. Now, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Mans is in love. I mean, wow. Okay. So let's look at some of the replies to that. Well, I'm happy for Mans. I mean, hey, they found love. Who says we can't too? Now, this is a white dude who saw the mammy that's the lawyer. He's thinking about that bag. We talk about the get the bag prostitution around here, but we only talk about it from the standpoint of the female getting the man's bag. But that shit works in reverse when it comes to hypergamy amongst the bottom shelf Brad. Bottom shelf Brad is about that bag. So you got a bottom shelf Brad. He like, shit, I see the way that they swooning over this dude. I wear a fade. You a lawyer? I'm coming for that bag. So the white boy says, I mean, hey, they found love. Who says we can't too? So he in her DMs with the lawyers because they upgrade. See, they're on code. We talk about a code. Bottom shelf Brad is on code. He don't date down. He dates up, right? He can go up, not down. He looks for a woman with a job. He looks for a woman that can worship him. He ain't gonna do shit. So to the Pookies out there that's sitting up playing their Madden King, listening to this, angry. This is your replacement this decade, the white Pookie and bottom shelf Brad. DJ Kid is the template for what you're going to experience. And remember, he's going to send her back to you gagged, with a toxic attitude and very much diseased, as we learned from DJ HIV. When he sends her back to you, he's gonna have upgraded himself, he's gonna have gotten some money out of it, and he's gonna send her back to you broken and ruined. Okay? So that's him. He letting it be known, hey, I'm available. I see you got that JD next to your name. Here goes someone else. Girl, why he got a wave brush though? I'm screaming. They love this shit, man. And you talking about y'all gonna go to war? Who would you be fighting exactly? When half your army worships the ground that the male man and the male woman walks on. What war would you be fighting exactly? They eating this shit up. They love this, man. The cult of bottom shelf Brad treats their worship like catnip, man. You looking at your future right here. So I say to the free moving and the free thinking black man, go live your best life, man. Don't worry about the imaginary community. It don't exist. It does not exist. It's a myth to get pennies and dollars out of black single mothers. That's all that shit is. It ain't nothing else. Has no place in this decade. You're going to have to go and build for yourself and hopefully find others like you and just create some new shit. So this woman says, right, because I'm seeing two completely different hair textures and I'm thoroughly confused. So this is some of the GIFs that they put in there. They loving this shit, man. I ain't heard anything about saving no black community in this thread at all. I haven't heard anything about Monique Bow in this thread at all. They don't give a shit about that stuff, man. He went from Tanner to TJ real fast. See, there it is. I told you, bro. He went from Tanner to TJ real fast. They love this shit, man. Done. They loving this shit, yo. They love Waldo. What would Waldo do is what they say. They wake up saying, what would Waldo do? White God, can you please send her a Waldo so you can get her out of our face? And when the shit goes bad, don't send her back over here. I don't want to hear about the ghetto gag bitches coming back with biracial children talking about save the community and go fight wars against the male man that rejected them. That's why it's important that we all listen to these women speak and let them have speak their truth, as they call it, their truth, to let you know how they really feel about you. This is public. This isn't private. This is what these women are saying to the world. Other races of men are laughing at you. They're laughing at you. He knows that you could be a top-notch guy and you're going to have to go through a whole bunch of hoops to get with the same woman he can get with by just saying hello in the DM. That's it. Hey, she's scrambling. Hey, can we meet up at 7 p.m. At this restaurant? I'll pay for everything. I'll meet you there. I'll pay for your parking and everything. Bam. I mean, that's just how they rolling. And you got to accept the truth. There's nothing to be angry about here. It's funny as hell to me because I ain't saving nobody but myself. But for you guys that are still on the fence, they're saying that you want to save these broads from themselves. Good luck. I wish you the best. So this one says, went from Joshua to J Money real quick. See what I'm saying? They love it, man. She said, this is honestly so funny because if you watched, are you the one he wanted to date the black girl, but she didn't like him? IG, when they show ended, he said, I'ma find me one. Boy, y'all black queens is something else, man. Oh my God, he looks so familiar, but I couldn't tell from what. Thank you. You're welcome. The gold necklace and the brush on the sink kills me. The flavor, the material. Oh, shit. This is how they're describing their white pookies, man. And this is really, you know, for the black woman first drones who believe that you can save these women from themselves. You're going to have to explain to me how you're going to save these women from doing what they're doing. Where's your authority exactly? You're always talking about how you got this authority over her. You're going to check her. Da. You get online, beating your chest, you know, calling them bitches and all these things you're going to do. But the truth is you ain't going to do anything. You have no power, zero influence over these hoes, man. She up there saying the flavor, the material. So they are black facing these white men, okay? They are doing it for him. That's why he feels comfortable doing the slave cosplay, because these women are black facing for him. They're applying the makeup. the flavor, the material. She says, I'm gonna get me a white boy that's a bottom shelf Brad and turn him into a what did she say? TJ. I'm gonna turn him into a white Pookie. I'll get out there and sell the drugs if I have to. There ain't nothing that she wouldn't do. We talk about it all the time over here. Swirl Mountain. There is nothing that she won't do to get to the top of Swirl Mountain. She will swim the 7 seas. She will walk through a jungle. She will go through bankruptcy. She will do anything to get to the white seed. And this is what angers your black Hotep communists and the black woman first drones. They get mad at you for pointing out what these hoes are saying because they know they can't check her. They tell you they could check her, but he ain't checking shit. He on his way out. So let me see. Lowry's. They loving this, man. He must have snatched a queen, put some hot sauce on them, laughing out. They love this shit, boy. What I love about the glow up, now look at Trish Williams. She got the Angela Davis avatar. What I love about the glow up, other than how fine both pics are, is the man didn't spray tan to get the desired effect. He just got himself a mammy. See? They telling white Pookie, look it, you homeless, you're struggling, I'll get you right. Just give me a chance to get that white seed. And that's why ghetto gaggers is never talked about in this sector of black YouTube. The only black men that talk about this are those that have actually said that I'm going to do commentary on this culture and let you look at it. But the guys that should be the most invested in commenting on ghetto gaggers and this white male worship that does major damage to the image of black men, they'll be the most quiet. In fact, all like one of these black, one of these white male worshipers has to do is snap her fingers, and they will just be obedient dogs, like those dogs that you could do like certain command codes, like Zad. They could just say Zad, and that dude just turns into like a little Chihuahua, a quiet little puppy. So they know this, and that's why they're so open about their worship now. They don't care anymore because they know that the dudes that say that they're going to check them, they ain't got the courage to check them. They're castrated men. So let's read some more of these comments. Then I'm gonna, go back to the comments, and then I'll come back to the thread. The real question is, which one came first, the black barber or the black woman? You see what I'm saying? And the black woman, of course, you'll say the black woman. So these are white boys having exchanges with their white male worshipers. These women they're the worst, bro. This is, and you talking about you're gonna save these women? You got to be out of your goddamn mind, man. And many of you brothers are laid up with a white male worshiper that's been rejected by the ghetto gaggers right now. You laid up with her. You're paying her rent. You're taking care of her biracial children. And you out here talking about black love and all this shit. And all she does when you ain't around is going to threads like this, looking for her next hypergamy, exit from the situation. This is what you're dealing with. So this is a dude. He says, I've seen brothers. Now, here's the first real thing I've read no thread. Here's a black man who is probably a black love Hotep guy. He comes into the thread. He says, I've seen brothers vilified on Twitter for even boosting a white chick. And every black woman went at his neck in the thread, calling them weak or a sellout. That's that double standard right there. I'm not against anyone dating whom they want, by the way. This is just an observation. He's right. There ain't no black men in this thread saying anything. They're probably just doing what I'm doing. We're not going to comment in their thread. I'm not going to tell them don't date who you want. This is for you to know what you're dealing with out here in 2020. So another guy says, we know they some hypocrites and they know, but will never admit. So these are the first comments from black men calling this crap out. So the guy says, I'm not here to judge anyone. Like who you like. I'm just saying that the energy is not the same when it's the other way around. All I'm here to say is, shrug my shoulders. I'm just an observer. Now, that made me think of that situation I was looking at recently in the news with Meghan Markle being kicked out of the royal family. Her and the cuck known as Prince Harry, who is actually really not a prince. He's actually allegedly the bastard child of one of the soldiers that was in charge of protecting Princess Diana. So you guys can look that up yourself. And I've seen pictures of that soldier and Prince Harry. And even Prince Charles himself says that Prince Harris is a bastard and that he's the bastard of that guy that Diana was having an affair with. So they got kicked out of the UK. Canada is kicking them out. So we are beginning to see the fall of the Duchess of Swirl Mountain. So I'm keeping an eye on that. The fall of the Duchess of Swirl Mountain. So that's what they made me think of. So we know how they celebrated Merkel. We know how they celebrated Serena Williams, Tika Sumpter, Rihanna, all these different people when they go and get them a Waldo or a Brad. And when that fall comes, it's crickets. I would think everybody would be talking about the Meghan Markle thing. She said that she's not black in that infamous Essence article, which I will try to include if someone can remind me after I get off, where she herself wrote an article in Elle magazine or something like that. And she was saying to the black women that are worshiping, I'm not even black. And they still worship her. And now as the Duchess of Swirl Mountain falls, crickets. So that's what these brothers are referring to, which to me, I don't even know why they even got up in the thread. It's like you're wasting your time, bro. That lets them know that you're still concerned. You don't need to comment in these broad threads, man. Just share it with other brothers and, say, hey, this is how they rolling. So here's someone that said, in 2018, he was Andrew. In 2019, he's Dre. Again, the black facing of their zaddy. Of course, I'm living my truth now, finally. So this is one of the zaddy saying that this is just proof of how brave I am. The hairbrush confirmed it. I love how clean his bathroom is. Oh my God. So this is a white, male worshiper. She's saying, I love how clean his bathroom is. What kind of bathrooms are you in? I mean, it's nothing they won't worship. She comes to your crib, you got brand new everything, and she telling you how she was at another person's crib and he had something better. But this dude cleaned this restroom, and she's saying that she's willing to drop on her knees just because he got a clean restroom. So let me take a pause from the thread. I want to see what some of you folks have said, because the thread goes on and on, but I just want to take a little peek real quick. So let's see what some of the folks are saying, man. And we'll come back to that. So let's see. Okay, I see. Shout out to Dalawasha, keep clowning these dudes, laughing out loud. No doubt. We're gonna let I would even say that it's me clowning. These hoes is clowning. The white male worshiper is clowning. This is her words. This is their words. This ain't my words. She's doing the work. They need to see this. So let me see. Omega Dread says, where's all that smoke for Wigga baby powder? Ain't no smoke coming, man. The black woman first drones know their place, bro. They are attack dogs against other black men. Just like you saw the situation with Monique Bow. That was one black redneck male killing a black woman who is a mother of two and trying to kill her black Pookie as well. So that's how they roll. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about the truth that in Hotel Americana, that genocide trait is so strong. We don't want to talk about that, though. That's not supposed to be spoken on. So Big Game Orenthal James says, bottom shelf Brad doesn't need swag. Absolutely. He don't need game. He don't need swag. He don't need money. None of that shit. Because all he needs is that white skin. That's his card. Hey, I'm white. Surrounded by, these different thought concubines. Surrounded. Renzo Patterson, of course. DJ Zaddy, Jason HIV. Of course. Believe me, there's a ABW somewhere putting money on his books as we speak. Do not get it twisted. So now they've replaced the black Pookie with the white Pookie going into 2020. And that's got to hurt. You know what I'm saying? That shit got to hurt. And you all saw the words. And we're going to get back to that thread before I get off. I don't want to go too long today, but we're going to read a couple more comments. And I'm going to let it, you guys can think about it and come to your own conclusions. That's what we do around here. We present an argument. We present the citations. And then each brother has to make a decision for themselves. We're not in the business of thinking for other people. You have your own. Some of you might have even more to say about it than I do. Leo Leon says, I'm happy for her. She found her white king. Yep. She found her white king, man. Man, 1994 says, so these straggles want mayo and extra Negro juice on their sandwich. Yep, that's what they want. He don't got to bring no ingredients. She'll provide the ingredients. She'll take him to the tanning session. She'll buy the melatonin pills. She'll take him to the black barbershop. She'll give him a free prescription, subscription to like Black Flicks or some shit like that. She'll do all of that. She'll take care of it. She's a workhorse for him and a pony for you, bro. That's just how it works. So when they talk about get the bag prostitution, that's the exemption. So she's a workhorse for him, a donkey for him, but a pony for you. And you know ponies don't do no work. You have to put the ribbons on the pony. You have to get the shoes changed every few years or whatever. You have to be the one that combs the fur. You have to feed her the oats. She becomes a liability to you, but she's an asset to him because she's a fucking workhorse for him. You gotta buy you gotta brush the weaves and all that. He don't gotta do that. She will get him a man weave if that's what's required to give him that DJ Kid swag. So Evan Duncan says, I noticed a lot of B1s in this chat. Good. They should be in this chat. I hope that they talk about the thread. I hope that they talk about Monique Ball because I'm hearing a lot of silence. I hope that they talk about the Imperial Wizard being loved on some Game of Thrones, Queen of the Dragons type shit down there in Belize. I hope they talk about that, but I don't think they will. So let me see. Silverman says, poor white boys are taking up a curse. We escaped laughing out loud. Good luck, Brad. Yeah. You know that last case that I did in the Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad series where you had the Nielsen's, Zainab Nielsen, who known as Alizé, and how he killed Zainab Nielsen. And the mailman is suspected and alleged to have killed her. He's currently on trial for murdering him and their biracial child. So I already know what the game is. You know what I'm saying? I already know what the game is. And I hope that these threads and these conversations helps you know too. Don't let these people gaslight you, man. K-Mac, the simps need to see this. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to change them. I mean, like I said, man, I think that the white male worshiper has come to the realization that she has a past in Hotep Americanda. So some of these dudes feel validated by getting the white man's scraps. It kind of reminds me of like that. Many of you guys have read What Does the 4th of July Mean to the Slave, written by Frederick Douglass. So that's like something that every 4th of July I wake up and I read. I really do. Because with the whole save yourself bed wench culture, it's all about scraps. It's all about leftovers. And one of the things that Frederick Douglass mentioned in What the Slave is the 4th of July, he talked about how it didn't mean anything to him as a slave. And he said that it was funny that he was in the minority, that he didn't understand what these Negroes were celebrating. But he said he never seen more happier Negroes than on the 4th of July, even while they were slaves, because on that day, they would get like an extra butter biscuit. It was kind of like a spring cleaning type of thing. And the slave master and the slave mistress would give away their dresses to like their favorite black slaves. And they would also, the master, he would give away like his top coats and shit like that, his shoes to his favorite black male slaves. And they loved playing dress up like that. So that's kind of what it makes me think about, man. Some of these people still have that mentality where the white male man and the male woman's leftovers is an upgrade to them. And you got to keep that in mind. It's definitely a mental disorder. But I'm not Sigmund Freud. I'm not Carl Jung. I'm not here to fix it. All I'm here to do is show you what they're saying and think that you'll fix it and you'll come to your own conclusion and solve the problem. So let's say SKC says, thank God for Brad. Praise him in the heights. These men are awesome. Silverman says, you'll see Save Yourself bed wench soon, laughing out loud. It's already been here, man. According to the brothers that talk about the daughters of the trade, that's what that whole book's thesis is about, that, you know, the Save Yourself bed wench movement has been around from the very beginning, and that it played an important role in strengthening the ability of the European slavers to conquer those parts of Africa and build the kind of relationships they needed with the rulers over there in Africa. So, but I'm gonna say that for the day when I actually read that book. But their movement is way older than black men actually finally sin. I actually say that this is the first time in history, in America at least, that black men have been as free to choose as they are. So I think that we're entering a moment that's still uncharted territory for black men at large. You see what I'm saying? The freedom to choose and to go find the kind of attractive, feminine, cooperative woman that he wants, whatever her skin tone is, whatever her nationality. He's never been more free than he is today, ever. Today, January 18th, 2020, is the freest day of any black man in the history of America. And tomorrow will be even more free. Every day going forward will be the most freest day of black men to choose. Each day going forward because of the technology. I just told you earlier, I'm learning a whole new skill set that adds a revenue stream, and it's also independent work. It's going to take about 6 months to get a good mastery over it, but that's something that's coming soon. So I couldn't do this 20 years ago. My dad couldn't do that because these opportunities that the internet offers just weren't there. So we are the freest black men that ever walked the planet, in America at least, ever. No generation, the 25 generations of Native Black Americans, no black man has ever been free than we are. That's why I'm tired of the excuses. I don't want to hear none of the excuses anymore. Get the shit done. Don't ask the next man why he didn't do that or why. You get it done. Simple as that. Or don't talk about it. You get it done or stop talking about it. Because I'm tired of hearing about this excuse, that excuse. Just get the shit done, man. Matty Go, salute. He says, notice they made an HIV pill for them called Truvada for preparation. They studied the CDC statistics, LOL. It's for the ABW, transformers, puffs, and switch hitters. Look. So you guys, yeah, man, I can't click that link while I'm live because it could cause like an issue. But you brothers that's reading, he provided a link to show you about this whole thing with this HIV drug called Truvada. So go ahead and click that link. And that's a good PSA for you cats out there that have not had an STD test in the last 2 or 3 years. Go get your shit tested, man. Or your ass might be taking that Truvada real soon. So Dark Meteorite says, did you watch the Maury show with 2 black women having out of wedlock child with Chad? Nope. Hey, send me that Dark Meteorite. Send that to my email. It's in the about section. I would like to check that out. Maybe I'll have a chance to comment on it in a few weeks. Ruby Red says, I am offended. I mean, I'm not really sure what they're referring to. He like, Omega says, he's like, I'm a real wigger. Oh, shit, man. Johnny Neal says, love versus Virginia. Sigma Jones, the white incel problem can be solved overnight if they take these BWs off our hands. Real shit. It really could. That is a fact. That is not a lie at all. Big Game says, Brad on the bottom shelf look to move to the top shelf. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a whole army of Lonnie Loves and Aisha Tylers out there, man. People forget that Aisha Tyler thing was something else, man. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me just bring that up real quick before I get back to the thread, because I want to wrap this up in like the next 30 minutes. But let's go, because a lot of people don't know about this. They think that I'll be making this shit up when I say these things. But Aisha Tyler proved that the get the bag prostitution culture is really, really huge amongst bottom shelf Brad. So she did like a hell of a alimony payment. I think it was like either 1 to 2 million she had to pay her bottom shelf Brad. So let's see. I'm gonna bring it up so you guys can say, man, shit, when you making that shit up, Aisha Taylor ain't paid no money to her bottom shelf Brad. Why, yes, she did. So let's bring that up, because a lot of you think that I'll be making this stuff up, man. So let's bring that up. I ain't telling you no lies about this, man. Let's see. Let's see what happened with Aisha Tyler, because the Black Girl Magic Feminist was real quiet on this one. We ain't heard nothing about it. Thank God for the internet. Thank God for Wi-Fi. So let's see. So Aisha Tyler was like, she was one of the she was kind of like the Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks of Swirl Mountain, you could say. Because when she did it, and she did it so publicly, it inspired like a lot of white male worshipers to get them a bottom shelf Brad. So Aisha Tyler is like, she's big time, bro. She's on that Rosa Parks of Swirl Mountain tip. So here it is. So this is back on May 18, 2017. Aisha Tyler, divorce final, owes ex-husband $2 million. $2 million. There it is, TMZ. There it is, people. So for you brothers that's in the chat that it didn't do your research, that's sitting there like, man, Aisha Tyler ain't paid no bottom shelf Brad no $2 million. Yes, she did. And that's just what she paid in a lump sum. She had to pay more to him as well. The $2 million was the lump sum, but there was other money and other assets that she had to divide up with her bottom shelf Brad. And things went so bad for her. Fall from Swirl Mountain was so painful that allegedly she now is in a relationship with a white lesbian woman. Not even a black lesbian Lori Lightfoot woman, but she went and now she's going the Becky route. Now she wants herself a Becky to to do the lesbian thing with. That's how mentally damaging it can be to get to the top of Swirl Mountain and then to fall where we call the graveyard of Swirl Mountain. So Aisha Tyler, divorce final, owes ex-husband $2 million. $2 million. Told you, bottom shelf Brad don't be playing no game about his money, man. Fuck y'all talking about? While you out here, again, she's a pony for you and a workhorse for him. That dude don't got to work another day in his life. He hadn't worked during the whole time he was in a relationship. Now he's set. Now he will go get him like a little younger white broad or some kind of Asian woman and tighten her up. Again, she's a workhorse for him and a pony to you. This shit is real. This ain't me making this stuff up. This is TMZ. Aisha Tyler's marriage to Jeff Tietjens is officially over, but she'll still be sending him checks for quite a while. Look at TMZ clowning. They know what time it is. They know what time it is over there at TMZ. The talk host and Archer actress has been ordered to pay her ex-husband $31,250 per month in spousal support over the next 4 years. So she's still paying him. She will be paying him up until 2021. So until May 2021, she will be paying this dude $31,000 a month plus an additional $500,000. Do the math. That's $2 million for Jeff. So between 2017 and 2021, she will pay this bottom shelf Brad Jeff $2 million. The two will split everything else. Now, again, you guys just was thinking about the $2 million. He's also getting cars and a home. So check it out. The two will split everything else. Tietjens gets half the money they made from selling their house. So she was like a B, C-lister. So maybe they had a house that was worth $1 million. So he's getting another $500K off that. He gets the 2012 Lexus and she gets the 2013 Tesla. It's funny because they say she gets, because she's paying for all of this shit, right? She's not getting anything because she's paying for everything. Aisha also keeps her companies BTBO Media and Hot Machine. So she got to keep her two companies. He almost got that as well. I'm telling you, boy, bottom shelf Brad could teach these broads how to get the bag. We broke the story. Jeff filed for divorce. Now that goes back to one of the theories that a lot of brothers that have been having this conversation for years have been saying. One of the theories and the arguments that the reporters on Swirl Mountain make is that the ABW does not leave the white Mayo man unless she is, I'm talking about, it's just the ass whippings, the death threats is too much. But she will cling to that marriage. The Mayo man has to leave the relationship. Again, TMZ, we broke the story. Jeff filed for divorce last year after the couple separated in January 2015. They wed in 1992. So there it is. He left her. And you could tell. So let's get back to the thread real quick. And then I'm going to close this out. So let's go back to that thread. Let's go back to the Zaddy Twitter thread. So let's see. All right, picking back up where we left off. Are you still with her? He is. So these are, so as you see, you got a bunch of white male worshipers in the thread, and they're trying to put their bid in, and they're asking the woman straight out, like, are you still with this dude? Because I want to get him. And then some other girls saying they are still together. Cute, they really are. The one Joe left. Okay. Looking like John B, I see. He was cutting up in 2016. Come on, Andy. So they're posting, pictures of their zaddies or whatever. So let's see some more of these replies. Laughing my ass off at Andy. Is this the same dude? Nah. The nigga that gives her heebie-jeebies. Oh, I went through his Twitter and he went from a country boy to surfer boy to this, and his girl is Jamaican. Shit. Well, all I know is knew him or owed him, gagged me all night long. Whoa. There it is. Wow. These are your black queens of Americana, man. Shit. Well, all I know is knew him or owed him, gagged me all night long. Ghetto gaggers. You got some. Ghetto gaggers listens to these streams. They know where to do their recruits at. The ghetto gaggers will be all up in this thread, DMing these women like, hey, we heard that you want to be gagged. That brush on the counter says it all. Went from Connor to Tony real quick. 1 second, though. Can we just talk about the fact that black women deserve the world so beautiful? So the world to them means bottom shelf Brad or Waldo. That's what the world means to the white male worshiper. There it is. And this is really for the black woman first drones. Because I need y'all to explain this shit to me. Turn them into a goddamn French Montana. I mean, I could go on, and I'm not going to go on too much longer with this thread because, I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm screaming because he did actually start dating a black girl. Oh, man. My stepmom said he went from American Eagle to GQ. Wow, wow, wow. So here go another black man jumping in the thread. You black men got to stop making comments in these like white male worshiper threads, like real shit. I don't know why you guys are wasting your time, man. So this brother says, so we just going to excuse this man pretty much imitating because he keeping our, see, there it is. Now this guy, now I don't use the term our sister, but this dude again, even though these women are shitting on him, he comes in their thread saying, so we just going to excuse this man pretty much imitating because he keeping our sister happy. Why does he have to get a fade cut, keep a brush that his hair type doesn't even need, and portray a low cut black man look just because he with a black woman? He could still look like 2018. Why are you in these white male worshiper thread asking them questions that you already know the answer to? And why are you calling these women your sisters? This is why you will fail. This is why Americana will never be built off the current template that the hotels put out there. Here's a dude. These women are shitting on you. Okay? Two-faced it on the issue of cultural appropriation. And he getting the thread crying as if these hoes care about your tears, bro. Stop it, man. He's 100% right with everything he said. But what do you think that these hoes is going to say? They don't even look at you as a human being. So what was the replies to him? So this is a dude that's still hanging on. He was on the fence until he got in this thread. There's nothing wrong with now he go one of the white male worshipers. There's nothing wrong with a fade and a chain. At least he ain't getting a tan. I'm telling you, man, Waldo can do anything he wants to do. Why can't you Hotep heads get this shit through your head? You're not going to get a logical answer. I can only tell you that genetic immunity. They have genetic immunity, man. You got to accept that shit and focus on yourself. So he couldn't just accept her answer. She gave you an answer. Here he comes. He says, there's everything wrong with it once you get it after being with a black girl. Look at the two pictures. A fade hairstyle for me and black men like myself take pride in, and also that brush on his counter. That when you go to the store and get it, it's a black face on the cover. Well, naive, it won't be a black face on the cover in a few years. It'll be a white pookie soon enough. Soon enough. Because remember, the black bras got angry at the dude over there at Shea Butter when he put a white girl in the commercial. Let's see if they boycott all those Asian stores when they see their first white pookie, because now, shit, for you brothers out there that doing business, go ahead and get you some of them hairbrushes and market it to white pookie. they will sell out in one day. They will sell out in one day with all the white male worshipers coming through there to buy them shits out. So while he bullshitting, he need to get paid off of these hoes. You see what I'm saying? Because they boycotted Shea Moisture when he did it, but they will not boycott them when they put the white dude on the wave brush logo. So keep that in mind for you very like business-oriented black men out there. So you can sit up here crying in this thread, or you can get out there and make money off of these cunts. So man went from Captain America to French Montana. So I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm gonna read some more comments and I'm gonna get up out of here, man. But shout out to the brother Stranger. He wanted me to share this thread with you guys because we go through these Waldo threads sometimes so that you can let the white male worshiper speak in her own voice and tell her truth. So I'm gonna just let you guys look at that image. So that's what they feel about the white Pookie, the flavor. I mean, it's nothing else I can say. And I look forward to, hearing from the Black Woman First drones, what you thought about what you saw today. And I mean, this thread got hundreds and hundreds of more tweets, but I'm not about to sit up here all day reading these cunts' thoughts. But that should be enough for you to think on. And I'm gonna just leave you with the image. This is one of the white male worshipers that she put up. She said the flavor. So whatever you Black Madden Kings was offering is no longer very desirable to the white male worshiper anymore. She is replacing the black Pookie with a white Pookie over the next decade. I'm sorry to tell you. So it won't be long before you see like the white boys' faces on wave brushes, before you see their faces on do-rags and the blunt packages. So like when you want your Swiss and Sweets and all that, it's gonna be like a Machine Kelly endorsing that shit in this next decade. Mark my words. So let me go ahead and take this down. Go back to the comment section. I'm gonna get up out of here. So let's see. Okay, read some of these comments. Rashawn Barr says, you're right. They desperately want that white seed. I believe you're on to something with that, brother. Hey, it's just a theory, man. It's just a theory. You guys got to make a decision for yourself if you think it's right or wrong. Sigma Jones says, I'm surprised they haven't shut down that Twitter thread like they did the last one. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like they can't keep shutting it down because it's the truth is the truth. This is not us saying these things. This is them saying it. And the black dude that got up in the thread, I don't understand. Like, why are you? I don't understand what he wants them to say exactly. And he's still the syndrome is so deep inside of him. The gynocentric, program is so deep in him. Even while he's in a thread of BWs worshiping the ground that Waldo walks on, he's still calling them sisters. And then you wonder why they go get ghetto gagged. They go get the club gets shot up and they come back with the mixed kids. And you're the one that's paying for it, using your resource to pay. You're putting your life on the line. You wonder why they know that you'll do that. Because here you are being abused verbally. You know what I'm saying? And the hypocrisy of it all. And you're still saying, these are my sisters. I mean, come on, man. Something is really wrong with these cats that have been raised over these last 3 generations. I mean, something is really mentally fucked up with them, man. It ain't, no matter what she tells you, you still want to save her. Shit is crazy. I don't see them chicks going into the threads where like black men have non-black women all up in there and saying to them that they still want to save them. Hey, you brothers, why are you dating these non-black women? No, they ain't coming like that. They come in with the shaming language. They're coming with the verbal abuse. That's what they're coming with. But no, you're coming with the cape. So make that make sense. Dark Meteorite says, because he's a cuck. So I'm going to bring some of y'all comments on the screen before I get up out of here, man. Let y'all get some shine. Hopefully that you got something positive to think about. How you going to move forward? Are you going to save yourself or are you going to save the imaginary community? It's up to you. Because Monique Ball, she's 6 feet deep this morning. She's not with us anymore. You heard her, Cynthia. She talks about happily divested men. Like you should dissect the video. You should check it out. Fuck out of here. States. Let me see. See. If Brad can somehow be convinced to find women like Lonnie Love attractive, then that would take a good 80% of them off our hands. Interesting. Wow, that is powerful right there. And I'm sure that David Carroll will be putting out a video today. He usually puts out a video on Saturdays, but that's powerful right there, man. His whiteness covers a multitude of imperfections. Shout out to the minister, David Carroll. That is powerful right there, man. I gotta save that one for real, for real. I got to save that quote because I call it genetic diplomatic immunity, but David Carroll says simply his whiteness covers a multitude of imperfections. Oh man, that's 100% true. Let me see. Green for Griot. Robert Kardashian has filed for sole custody of the child he had with Black China. Apparently, she twerks around the child and also been drunk around the child. Vote with your feet. Hashtag vote with your feet. Not surprised. Not surprised. You could take the thought out the hood, but you can't take that hood out the thought, man. No matter what you do, you cannot. They haven't invented a pill yet to take that thought out of her. So that thought you buying ain't going nowhere. You can fool yourself into thinking that, but you could put lipstick on the pig, but it's still gonna be a pig, man. Charge of instability, cold white. The white man. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. It looks like SKC and some brawl was going at it pretty heavy in the chat. Man, SKC always going at it with someone in the chat, man. On every channel, like he always beefing with somebody, man. So let me see what Zeus says. Zeus says that's why SYSBM is necessary. There are a lot of brothers who still believe the Jaguar is their only option and that she can be saved or reformed. Yeah, there are a lot of black men that are still thinking that. But again, you know, that's their choice. If you want to put the cape on, what I'm asking is why don't y'all ever have a cape on when these women are being abused and killed? Why is it always an after? Why is it always like a murder happens, a robbery happens, a rape happens, and then it happens, then these dudes talk about it, but they never prevent anything. There's no prevention. You know, they leave it in the hands of the same white supremacists they talk about every day to solve the crime or to stop the crime. So that's the hypocrisy of that group. The Cape Crusaders, that's the hypocrisy with them. They're never around when shit goes down unless they're the one doing the crime. Albert Bird says, let them have their white zaddy. They deserve each other. Absolutely. One of the greatest teammates in history. NWA. He really believe all that simp ideology. Yeah, they do. Pussy is overrated. Red Pill says, black men have to understand we are not the VW's first choice. For most of them, yeah, I agree. Not for most of them. Not for most of them. You can all kind of test it out by just seeing if the woman loves blackness. If she's like really like loves blackness. And what I'm saying is that a woman that just loves black skin and she loves her own black skin, that's the best place to start when you're looking at, if you want to measure that woman's, if you're her first choice. When you watch her, does she watch like a lot of television shows that are Caucasians? And does she have like a lot of actors and actresses that she likes that's Caucasian, that kind of thing? Then you can kind of know. But there are some BWs that really do love black men. Don't get it twisted. There are some, but they're in a super minority now. And it's just not even a question. So if you find one of those, then you got a good deal. But she doesn't I don't think she represents the mainstream BW anymore going forward until proven otherwise. This is a funny one. SKC says, Shane Booty had 3 BW on her show. The darkest one says she went out with a white guy who asked her before they went out, could you put your white girl hair on? Damn. I'm always seeing this kind of disrespect, though, man. I saw like a reporter on a live report where the white dude had said to the his BW co-anchor, he had said to her, that's a weave, right? On why they were live on television. And she was like, this ain't no weave. It was a weave, but she was embarrassed that Brad had called her out. Now, this was her co-anchor on one of these news shows, and she had gotten called out. He was like, oh, you don't got to worry about it. That's just a weave, right? Because she had told him it was weave. He knew it was weave, but then she's like, this ain't no weave. And it was just some embarrassing shit, man. So yeah, these dudes don't give a fuck. I mean, would you, if someone made you aware, if you were aware that someone worshiped you, not for your character, not for your personality, but simply because you were born with a skin tone, you telling me that you would give them respect? No, you wouldn't respect them at all. You would look at them as a toilet. You would look at them as like a empanada for your derision. You would not have no respect for them because no one's going to respect someone that does not respect themselves. So I'm not surprised by that at all. That's why the only person you should worship is yourself. And I'm big on that. Put yourself on the pedestal. Worship yourself only. And a lot of guys get angry about that. You being a hyper individualist. You only care about yourself. Yeah, you're right. Because I don't have a twin. When I came out of my mom's womb, it was just me. And when I go back into the earth's womb, it's probably just going to be me. Because I'm not a fucking pharaoh. And they're not going to be bearing no servants with me or no shit like that. When the earth opens her womb to me, I'm probably going 6 feet deep by myself. And some of these like Hotep dudes call that, you's a hyper individualist. No, it's called being smart. And I actually got that from my black mom. She taught me that. Look out for your own interests. She taught me that shit. So I'll read a couple more before I get on up out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation and it added something to, you know, the narrative of the granddaughters of the daughters of the trade and who is the most loyal woman and if she really is your woman. And that's kind of like my narrative is that the black man is a free agent and the black woman are free agents. Just that simple. It's really that simple going into this decade. Neither owns the other and never did. That was all like a myth in your head built on certain policies that the dominant society set in place to get the results that they wanted. So now I think a lot of brothers are waking up to that reality. So the truth is like that cold water. So, you know, the Waldo threads, nothing more truthful than that, because that is her speaking her truth to you. So let me see what they said. The Duke said, did she really say gag me all night? Goddamn, yeah, that was her words. She said, you can gag me all night. So that's why you guys are always asking, just like the dude in the thread, he's up there like, well, why do you women go to ghetto gaggers? Why is you women up in Stormfront saying that they got a point? Why is you asking what you already know? It don't matter what he does. Bottom shelf Brad can have AIDS. He can be a murderer. He could be a pedophile. He could be home. It don't matter. He has genetic diplomatic immunity. And as David Carroll said, his whiteness covers all sins. But these dudes still don't want to accept the truth. So I'm going to read this last comment and I'm going to get on up out of here. Same thing with Kerry Washington. She was engaged with this white dude for a long time. And now she's married to a young black football player and have a child by him. Shaking my head. Yeah, that dude, he retired a few years back. He's like a non-ADOS black man. He's not a native black American man. He's like Nigerian or Ghanaian or something like that. I know what you're talking about. He used to be a cornerback in the league. Yeah. So he doesn't. He retired like 5 years ago, man. But he's not a native black American man. He's like a Nigerian or Ghanaian or something like that. So this is a good place to leave it off. Zeus says that's why black women, white men divorce rates are lower. It's the only union where the man usually has to initiate divorce. Real shit. Because in general, I think it's like 70 to 80% of all American divorces are initiated by the women. So shout out to that brother Verbs. I just saw him up in here. The Minister of Information for Swirl Mountain, Verbs, Babatuni of Slaney. He says, bottom shelf Brad, a.k.a. Lord Euro. Yep. There it is. So with that, I appreciate you all joining me. And thanks again to the brother Stranger. He wanted to share that with you all. And I will try to post a link that might be relevant to the discussion in the chat. And with that said, let me see if there's any other comment that I might want. Let me see. So I think there's a couple more comments in here that I might read. Corner for the Eagles. Yeah, he used to play for the Raiders too. Her baby dad, husband, I don't know where they're at right now, but so let me see. Last comment. So Jason Caesar says, just left the gym and seen an 8 with a bottom shelf Brad, and he looked like he couldn't get a Becky of his own kind if he tries. Oh man. That's why I keep telling you, bro. When bottom shelf Brad gets in the when he jumps into that the BW pool, it's gonna be a win for him. And you saw it with Aisha Taylor. So I'll just leave you guys with that. Signing off. Everyone have a good weekend, and until next time, peace.